It's time to turn your life-challenging moments into life-changing messages. Welcome to the Power Lift Stories podcast, where we are interviewing women whose stories will leave you lifted up, fired up, and fueled up with hope, courage, and inspiration. We want to thank our sponsor, Powerful Journey, who helps women tell their stories, write their books, and building a profitable brand around both. Join the masterclass or the Speakers Academy at phyllisjenkins.com. That is PHYLLISJENKINS.com. Now here's your host, Phyllis Jenkins.
Are you ready to turn your life-challenging moments into a life-changing message? Hi, I'm Phyllis Jenkins, the founder of the Powerful Journey organization, where we help women tell their stories, write their books, and build a profitable brand. Today is another episode of our 16 tips on how to turn your life-challenging moment into a life-changing message. I am sharing these tips from my latest book, Brain Aneurysm, What Did You Come to Teach Me? Yes, I was diagnosed December 20th, 2019 with a brain aneurysm. And during that time, I journaled every day the challenges, the struggles of what I went through, the 81 days of dizziness that I battled. I journaled all of that, my prayers, my struggles, and I'm sharing it in this book, and I'm sharing it to help others to know that the God that saved me and brought me through is still the same God who is able to bring you through. If you were not here on the last episode, tip number 1 is don't let your eyes, not these eyes, but don't let your eyes get in the way of God's vision for your life and for your plan. Example, I can't do this right now because I don't think I'm ready, or I need to get this done and then I'll move forward. So don't let those eyes get in the way of God's plan for your life. And I go into further details on that. I go deeper in the book. So let me just say that the book is available on Amazon, or if you would like an autographed copy, just send me an email at phyllis@phyllisjenkins.com, and I'll be happy to autograph you a book and get it to you. Our tip number 2 is refuse to allow that challenging moment, whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, refuse to allow it to control you or to keep you from being who God created you to be. In other words, don't allow it to take over your life. I battled the brain aneurysm, but I refuse to allow it to take over my life. Even when I was not able to get out of the bed and to do things for myself, I did as much as I could from that bed, meaning I spent more and more time in God's word. I was not going to be robbed of that. I spent as much time still working my classes, my Powerful Journey classes, as I could from my bed, on my laptop. I refuse to allow the brain aneurysm to take over my life. And so that is what I am encouraging you to do, is to not allow whatever that challenge is to come in and to control you, to take over your life. Instead, I encourage you to be empowered in tough times. Be empowered in tough times. Become a stronger you. Let that challenging moment fuel you, and let it become the fuel that gets you fired up to continue to move forward with what God has called you to do. Let it empower you to become a more confident you. Philippians 1:6, one of my favorite verses, says, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will bring it to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. God is in control. Remember that. And then use that time to draw closer to God. Have those quiet times, those quiet moments that perhaps you had been too busy to have. Allow God to speak to your heart. Allow him to come in and turn that situation around, and believe that he can and he will do it. See yourself out of that situation. I saw myself walking, skipping, running, and soaring from that bed. Even though I wasn't there yet, I pictured myself doing that very thing. So I encourage you, my sister, my brother, to do the very same thing. So again, tip number 2 is refuse to allow that challenging moment to control you or to keep you from being who God has created you to be. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next time with tip number 3. Before we end today's episode, I do want to invite you to come and be a part of our Telling Our Stories anthology. It is a compilation of women telling their stories. You will become a published author in this anthology, and your picture will be on the cover of the book. So if you have known, and we all have a story to tell, so don't think that you don't have a story, but if you don't feel as if you have a whole book to write, come and be a part of this anthology. Come and partner with other women who are stepping forward to tell their stories. We even have a section in the book for those who are soaring in their 60s. So if you're 60 and above, feel free to write a chapter about soaring in your 60s. We have other topics that could be your pandemic story. We just went through and are still in a pandemic. Share your pandemic story, your COVID-19 story. And it's not for you, but it's for that person who will read it and receive hope and encouragement, inspiration, and be moved to action because you stepped forward and you told your story. Perhaps you are a successful business person. Well, write your story, your backstory of how you got there. You didn't get there without some struggles or without having to learn some lessons. And so I encourage you to come along and share those lessons with others who are struggling, who are striving to build a business and to build their brand, and you can come along and share what God did for you. So again, reach out to me and let me know that you are wanting to participate in the Telling Our Stories anthology. This is volume 1. You still have time to join us. Thank you again for listening in today. and be moved to action. Turn your life-challenging moments into life-changing messages that will go forth and be a blessing to others. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us today. If you are interested in being on the show, go to phyllisjenkins.com. You can also sign up for the Powerful Journey Masterclass or the Speakers Academy at phyllisjenkins.com.